ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਮੰਡੇ ਟੂ ਫਰਾਈਡੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ 8 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 9 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ, ਮੰਡੇ ਟੂ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ 10 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 11 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਅਤੇ ਸੈਟਰਡੇ ਨੂੰ 2 ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ, ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕਸ, ਸਪੋਰਟਸ, ਲਾਈਫਸਟਾਈਲ, ਹੈਲਥ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਅਤੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਾਈਲਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਾਰਥ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਮਾਣ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਤੋਂ ਅਜੈ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ। ਆਓ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਉਹ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
Thank you, Ji.
So a little bit about yourself, Ajai Singh ji. How did you embrace Sikhism?
So our parents were born, or our parents were students of Yogi Bhajan, and we were born as Sikhs.
Okay.
And we grew up in a lifestyle of practicing yoga and going to Gurdwara and learning all about Sikhi. And when we were young, Yogi Bhajan had give our parents command, or he told our parents to send us to India.
Ji.
And so we just grew up in a Sikh lifestyle.
Okay.
As American Sikhs living in India.
So how many years did you spend in India, especially as far as education is concerned?
In terms of my general education, I spent 7 years there.
Right.
And then I went back for 2 years for subsequent study.
Right.
And during that time, I studied Kirtan, Indian classical music.
Okay. So basically at Miri Piri Academy in Amritsar, you grew most of your life. Your younger days were over there.
Yes.
So how did Miri Piri Academy evolve you as what you are today?
Well, I think it gave me the experience, which is one of the most important things anyone can have. Is there's so much information, there's so many logical ways you can analyze it.
Right.
But the experience of living as a Sikh is paramount to all of that, because if you can't really own it yourself, then it's very difficult to live as a Sikh, especially in the society we have today is so fast-paced, there's so much information.
Right.
So it came out of the experience of doing seva, of waking up and meditating, and just wearing bana, and having the whole experience of the lifestyle. You start to see the beauty of it.
Right. Well, like we generally see and listen, lots of youngsters today are shunning away from their religion, and especially the Sikh boys don't want to wear the dastar. But you feel pride in the bana, what you are. So, like you were born a Sikh, as you said, because your parents were. Majority of the youngsters whom we find were born as Sikh, but they are running away from their religion. So, what keeps you strong in your faith?
Well, I think that for me personally, the thing that keeps me strong is my meditative practice, waking up in the Amrit Vela, and it gives me a peace of mind, and it gives me the clarity to go through the day.
Right.
And after you practice that over a sustained period of time, then you really start to experience how that has an effect on all of the different parts of your life. And the thing is, most people don't really get that experience growing up as a Sikh, either American or Punjabi.
Right.
And so I think that's the key thing. When I looked at it personally when I was a teenager, what does this all mean?
Right.
It was waking up and doing that practice really added something to my life. And it really gave me the energy to go further and, maintain this type of roop.
Great. Now, in this fast-paced world whereby everybody wants to advance as far as materialistic things are concerned, and you want to go into the best jobs, how did it not come to you that you took up this upon yourself of doing the seva through Kirtan, and then you formed the Chardhi Kala group? Did you never ever think of going into some job whereby you could attain the best what it was?
Well, I did have a job. I do have a job.
Okay.
I was a computer programmer.
Right.
And so I do Kirtan, and I have a full-time job.
Okay.
And the Kirtan is more of a seva.
Right.
For me, I'm not a professional ragi. And I just do it out of the love of it because I love the Kirtan.
Right.
But anyone, I think people who think that you can live a lifestyle like this and have a job it's very limiting.
That's right.
You can definitely have a job. You can be
Right.
a spiritual person.
Right.
You can have it all.
Well, that's very true. What you have said is that's very right. And today, in this age, when we talk about business and spirituality, many people say this can't go together because in business you have to speak lies also, you have to cheat also, and all the things. So, and that is probably the reason many people shun away from this path of spirituality also. So, how do you keep a balance of all this?
Well, there's some businesses I wouldn't personally go into,
Right.
but I think you just have to really, meditate and ask Guruji, is this the right thing for me to do?
Right.
I mean, I think that's the moral dilemma. It's always easy to justify making money quickly or, for something that you have a
Right.
moral dilemma about. But to me, it's not very hard. I don't find that a big
Oh, that's
challenge.
wonderful. That's really a source of inspiration because, generally today we talk about lack of role models, but I would say you are a role model whereby the youngsters can look upon you and take inspiration. That's really commendable. Coming back to the issue of Chardi Kala group, which you formed, while you said you're not a professional, but once you listen to you get mesmerized because the Kirtan, what you're doing, is from the heart and it really, and the vibration is really high at that time. So as far as the Chardi Kala group is concerned, so with what mission are you going across the world and spreading the message of Sikhism?
I think the mission is just to inspire people
Right.
with what we've been inspired by. If people can listen to us and feel inspired to explore their own Sikhi, what
Right.
Sikhi means in their life further, that's great. And if the Kirtan can give people peace of mind and that sort of stuff,
Right.
that's our mission. It's to serve, it's to uplift,
Great.
it's to help people, find happiness and in their lives.
And do you also interact also with the youngsters and talk about issues which confront us? Because Sikhism is a way of life, as we talked earlier also, whereby you have to, in today's world, the youngsters have lots of ifs and buts, and they want answers for that. Gone is the time when you just said to the children and they used to obey it. Now you have to interact with them. With logic, you have to explain to them. So do you also play this role also, your group, that you interact with the youngsters and also talk about issues?
Yes. I think that's one of the most important thing with the youth is they're so sharp now.
Right.
They have access to so much more information that you really need to develop an honesty, an
Right.
honest relationship. It's not just a simple, well, put your pug on, chalo, that's what we do as Sikhs.
Right.
I think we need a little bit more meaning behind that and,
Ji.
to give them an opportunity to experience it, deep within themselves.
Right. So Ajay Singh ji, you have seen both the best of the Western world as well. You have spent your time in India also. So what is your perspective? Where are we lacking and what needs to be done? Because ultimately it's the youngsters who are going to carry on the religion. The elders have spent the better part of their life, but unfortunately today in the Gurdwaras or wherever we have our strength, we generally find the elders are over there and we are finding the youngsters don't take much interest. And if this continues, ultimately, while it is what I'm going to talk is more of pessimism, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
The youngsters are not going the way they should. So what do you feel, where do we need to work upon and how it can be started?
I think the biggest thing in Gurdwaras in the US and India is the participation.
Right.
It's that I think there's some people who feel intimidated by participating in the Gurdwara and they don't need to do that. Especially youngsters, they need an open environment where they can come and learn as opposed to, maybe a strict rule system that they feel that they have to live by first. And I think that really creates the inspiration within, children. I mean, as a father, I feel like my duty is to just be the best possible example. And I would say that to most parents out there who want their children to become more involved in Sikhi
Right.
and, experience the benefits of the lifestyle is they just need to, they show an example of what it
Right.
means to live a Sikh lifestyle,
Okay.
And not just the show, not just the facade, but,
Right.
what's the meaning, below even the roop.
That's right. So it has to start from home, as you said, but along with that, the community also has to play a role.
Yeah.
And today, as I said earlier also, that generally whenever we talk, we sit in our homes and discuss about issues, we generally say there are no role models over it whom we can look upon and the youngsters can look upon, and then they can also follow that path. No doubt we always are pleased and we always feel pride in saying Tan Gurus, Tan Guru Nanak and Tan Guru Gobind Singh, but we just remain stuck to that only.
Yeah.
How to bring that gratefulness into our lives also? So with your interaction, seeing both the systems where we live, what's, like you said, it needs to start from home, but along with that, at the community level, what needs to be done?
Well, on a personal level, I would say that I've had the blessing to go to Midi Pidi Academy throughout the years.
Right.
And I think out of all the blessings I've had in my life, that's probably been one of the highest things, is just to have that experience.
Right.
And people are really busy now. People have very demanding work schedules.
Right.
You know, children, they're distracted by everything they see, media, the TV. I mean, it's constantly sending messages. Cell phone information is more abundant than ever. And so being in an environment where you can kind of slow things down, you know, focus, you know, on kind of processing all this information,
Right.
is very, very helpful. And I think that's what Midi Pidi Academy kind of provides. It provides examples.
Right.
And it's in a neutral environment. Sometimes with your parents, there's a fight going on. But in Midi Pidi Academy, you may have a teacher and you may not have that same personal interaction.
Right. Okay.
So I mean that's helpful, and I think that's kind of was one of the best experiences that I've had.
Great. Paisa, it's a pleasure having you. Thank you very much and best wishes. We feel pride in what you are doing and congratulations. Keep on doing this. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਜੀ, ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਅਜੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਯੰਗਸਟਰਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲਸ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੇਖਣਾ ਹੈ, ਆਮ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਵਾਲੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਬੜੀ ਛੇਤੀ ਇੰਟਾਈਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਨਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਧਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਕੇ ਰਿਫਲੈਕਟ ਕਰੀਏ। ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੀਮਤ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈਏ। ਲੈਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸਤ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਣਗੇ। ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਦਾ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ।
ਲਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਚਮਕਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੇਵ ਮੋਰ ਲਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਲਿਮਿਟਿਡ। ਪਿਛਲੇ 21 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਸਪਲਾਇਰਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਚ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡਡ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। शैंडलियर्स, क्रिस्टल्स, स्पॉटलाइट्स, गार्डन लाइट्स, पेंडेंट्स, वैनिटी या आउटडोर लाइटिंग ਇੱਕੋ ਛੱਤ ਹੇਠਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਾਜਿਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਖਰੀਦ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। स्पेशल रेट्स फॉर बिल्डर्स एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स। आज ही पहुंचो सेव मोर लाइटिंग, यूनिट 137, 12639, 80th एवेन्यू, Surrey।